Well, hello there, guys, and welcome to the most recent game from SGS, HEIA Safari. We're going to be jumping into Africa in World War I, something I know very little about. As you can see, we've got, much like the other SGS games, a very large campaign here. 53 turns, each representing 1 month of real time. It opposes the Entente allies and the German Imperial forces in East Africa. And of course, just like every other of the SGS games, you can absolutely play either the German Empire or the Entente, and you can even play by email with friends. Over here, we've got Year of the Mosquito. So each turn represents essentially 1 month of real time between January 1915 and November 1918. And we are going to do this one. Now, of course, there are other ones over here. Year of the Elephant, Year of the Crocodile, and Year of the Lion. But we're going to start off with Year of the Mosquito, and we will be playing as the German Empire. So let's take a look and see how we do in this glorious campaign. All right, boys, it's time for the German Empire to move forward. You are Paul Emil von Lettow-Vorbeck, leading the German defense of the German colony of Deutsch Ostafrika, and you must preserve the territory from Allied invasion for the longest time and make it as costly as possible. I love the idea behind this campaign. It really is, I think, as close as this series has gotten to sort of counter-insurgency stuff. Just absolutely fascinating, so I can't wait to see what else they have here. First of all, 1 second, folks. Let me just jump. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. I now see your comments. Good to see you all. All right, let's jump in and get started here. So first things first, I can also change the unit tiles. Here, I'll show you guys, not the unit tiles, the control area. So now you can see on this particular map, the weather is going to seriously affect us. We are in the jungles, of course, of East Africa. It's absolutely brutal out here. Malaria, scarlet fever, you name it, yellow fever, you can get it out here. And of course, these guys can die very quickly. We don't want that to happen. So we just got a requisitions card. And the most important thing for the German player is to hold that central railway. That's what is able to move all of those supplies to all of our troops here. And of course, keep the British away from our colonies. So this will close down Dar es Salaam Harbor. Not even sure I necessarily want to play this. But then again, the British are the ones with the naval superiority in this campaign, so it might be a pretty good idea. I'm also going to click this button. This just makes it a lot easier for me to see what is on the German side and what is on the Entente side. And as you can see, we have a tremendous amount of tribal troops, as well as just standard troops here prepared to attack. I'm just looking at the most important cities the enemy has, and they all seem to pretty much border water, just about every one of them. By the way, we aren't just facing the Brits, we're also facing the Belgians and the French, and it's going to be tough. He says, good luck on getting them Zeppelin deliveries. Yes, indeed. I hope we end up getting them soon enough. But let's get started. So now card draw phase is over. We are moving into the reinforcements phase. And it looks like the German railways have very efficient mechanics and machine tools in Dar es Salaam. The workshop is put to test to repair or rebuild machine guns for the colonial forces. Every quarter turn from now, as long as Dar es Salaam is controlled, 1 German machine gun unit returns to play. Oh, yes. And we're going to use this to receive Arab Corps. These are going to be dropped in the county of Soga, and hopefully we can advance on enemy lines with them. Commander of the SMS Königsberg has abandoned commerce raiding in the Indian Ocean and sought refuge inside the Rufkij Delta. It may take a little while before the British can find the ship, and is in any case safer than risking the loss at sea. That makes sense. And over here, we've got a bunch of different naval ships on Lake Victoria. And of course, the interesting thing about Lake Victoria, we hold the southern part. The Brits hold the northern part of it. I'm definitely going to head over there looking for trouble if I can. And if we need to, we can close down the ports at Kasimu. In fact, I'm going to move over there and shut down that port. And we could actually shut down the port at Entebbe. Maybe we have to wait till next turn. There we go. Just make sure that we're using our naval, our navy to its best capacity, of course. And of course, these are all British ships holding us down. Sorry, these are German ships. Let's see, where are those British ships? In that case, you know what we're going to do? I'm going to try to merge these together. No, we don't have control over those. Interesting. All right. Then the turn. Schnee proclaims neutrality. Schnee! Governor Schnee officially proclaims the neutrality of the colony in the war. As a consequence, German troops are not allowed to invade nearby colonies, as the opponents have agreed to do the same in return. This is the result of secret talks started with British diplomats. So just think about that, guys. I mean, there is... Like, we can't actually take British troops and take territory. We have to take the native troops that are already here and use them to capture territory. I think that's pretty amazing. We do have some forces over here under command of Baumstock. What I'm going to do is try and move him up here. Nope, he's not going to be able to go there. Absolutely, as you can see. So what we're going to do we have any native troops? I wonder if these count as native troops. Let's check this out. We're going to keep our German generals back here. Oh, yes, they do. Yes, they do. Let's give them some artillery as well. We simply can't attack with those generals. In fact, we'll even give them a machine gun crew. 6 of 6. Let's give them these Ruga units. Native auxiliaries, mostly trained for reconnaissance and minor skirmishes. We'll also give them a Tiger. This is just a guy that can kind of carry stuff. And let's see. Here we go. Our first fight. I am excited. Can't wait to see kind of where this leads to. And there are a bunch of enemies over here. But again, I'm not sure if we can attack. Oh, we certainly can. All right, let's take a look. Go here. I'd love to move on through and attack their next turn, but we're going to have to wait. And as for our Maasai warriors, look at that. We have Maasai warriors. That is so cool. We're going to just strengthen that unit with some additional native auxiliaries. And should we attack here? I think that's a double stack. So what I'd like to do is merge these guys together, and I'll attack next turn over there. Of course, beautiful Mount Kilimanjaro right there next to us anytime we want to try and climb the thing. Let's see, get that cavalry forward. We're going to move these guys up to where the Maasai warriors are. It's okay if they get in next turn and not necessarily this turn, but we want to look at all fronts. I mean, this is one of those wars where all fronts are going to see some action. We've got Belgian territory over here, so we're going to attack Uvita. It's one of the Belgian colonies in the region. And I'm going to take General Val, and we're going to move General Val over here. I do believe that we can attack the Belgians. We can't attack the Brits openly, but the Belgians we certainly can attack openly. We just have to wait a bit. In fact, I could go straight for that territory. Nope, got to get across. Okay, we're actually going to need the Navy to get us across. And we do have quite a lot of naval troops here in Lake Tanganyika. We'll have to get on that ship, Weissman's ship. Or we could also just cut north, kind of like this, and do it that way. That's what I'm going to do with these units. I'm just going to try to assist Roth. And let's take Vinkens. I'd love to have some additional troops here, so let's see if we can actually add them. I don't think we can, but we're going to take Vinkens and attack Bukavu. And try and take this settlement from the enemy. How you doing, Odonaut? Good to see you, bud. Now, of course, these might seem like small settlements, but keep in mind, from a colonial perspective, especially having a settlement on a lake like this, it's massive. It really is quite important for the enemy and for us. We've got a bunch of these native tribes that are willing to assist and are willing to help us out. So I'm going to just try to take the territories that we can, stay away from areas that are going to be hostile, and then eventually we will merge these native units together again. So I'll actually move this guy to Mabara. And let's move these tribal units as well into Kakuto. Oh, these guys, interesting. So these guys cannot leave the area. So you know what? We'll keep them on Kigali. It's an important area. We don't want to lose it. It seems fair enough. Over here in the southwest, and you can just see that the Germans are fighting on all fronts. We're essentially being closed in. And that's why the whole goal as the German player is to try and cause as much damage as possible. I don't think we're going to attack Fort Hill. That's a death trap. But I will stay in Nuremberg and start bringing some additional troops over. Might take some time, but we will get them here. Got my Portuguese friends here to the south. They are not currently our enemy, so let's try not to get into a fight with them. Stay on the road. Stay on the road. I think that's as good as he can get this turn. Zanzibar. So once again, to get to Zanzibar, we are going to need to board a ship. But in the meantime, I'm going to start strengthening Schnee's army. And over here, I'm simply going to get these cavalry corps together in an effort to, in time, we're going to harass the enemy. Going to move them over here to Ushumbara. And next turn, we can't move this turn, but next turn, we can attack the enemy. Just look at those troops, guys. The Schutzkompanie. Mounted settlers, resilient and well-trained, well-equipped, and may set up ambushes. So, especially if the enemy tries to attack us this way, we will be prepared. I'm going to take this reserve unit, and I think we'll move him up to the same area, up in the northwest. Could even have him join this force, and now we've got a pretty decent reserve company and army, which we can use to attack the enemy. Only one province past the boundary line, says Harry Flashman. Yes, sir. Let's take a look at the name of that province, too. Now, we have pushed through, but initially it was just this one. Namanga. Namanga. By the way, if any of you guys, I get a lot of nostalgia from two different movies. I want to know if any of you guys have seen them. African Queen, #1. And this also reminds me of the young Indiana Jones when he goes to Africa in World War I. It just really gives me nostalgia for both of those things, and I'm a huge fan of both. So if you like them, you're going to like this game. Let's put it that way. Let's get up here. Yeah, this jungle is hell to move through. And of course, each turn we are taking that weather penalty for the humid weather. It's ridiculously humid. Let's actually see. No, I think so. We need to actually pull him over here and then put him on the ship. Okay, okay. The ship is not docked. It's kind of out to sea at the moment. All right, guys, let's get to the battles. Wish us luck. The Battle of Cajado. Let's see how things go. I think we'll be okay. Let's take a look at those British troops, the East African Mounted Rifles. And there we go. An easy victory, although not without losing some of our own cavalry troops there. Now, we can actually continue forward, or we can leave some troops behind. I think I want to attack at Magadi. This is risky, but we're going for it. Very risky. If there's any cards I can play, I will, but unfortunately there are not. We're facing the King's African Rifles, and these guys are quite good. But we're also facing a unit that's already taken some hits last turn. Not looking good for us, boys. We will retreat. Absolutely retreat and try to save our general. Let's head to Bukavu, and we are dealing with some Belgian units. Despite them not being the greatest battalion, you can see the unit strength there is pretty high. I'm hoping that Vinken's support will help us beat this enemy. Come on, Vinkens. Ooh, we're down to one. I'm not retreating. Not retreating. Come on. Entente. Guys, we just barely won that battle, and that would be tremendous losses on our side, really. Not something we would want to repeat. Again, over here at Jussin, look at the battle we're dealing with. We do have some artillery support. The enemy, however, has got, it looks like the Punjab Rifles, a few other Lahore infantry companies. Definitely a problem. Young Indiana Jones had such good African episodes. Yes, man, it really did. It really did. I mean, essentially, the fighting you're doing here is the same fighting that Young Indy was doing in that series, pretty much. And, of course, you can play as the Entente. Unfortunately, here, we got crushed attacking the Punjab Rifles. We learned our lesson. We are going to attack the fortress. The fortress of Uvira. This is one of the big ones, boys. No retreat. We just got into the fort. All right. That is a wonderful victory, taking Uvira here from the enemy. And I think I'm just going to keep the units here. Yeah, no need to really move them. We are turning it over to the enemy. Wait, Bukavu, we've got to roll to see if we take the city. That is a wonderful grab. Some replacements. We'll get some there. We'll get some there. And it looks like we can actually play a card. Kenya RR rated. German units within 2 regions of Kenya RR end of turn. +1 victory point and +1 money. Very good. Or Von Letov. Player receives 2 free cards, $1, and gains 1 DP. Come on. Let's play Von Letov here. And we can also play the Kenya Railroad rated. So I guess we're dealing with the Central Railroad, which is ours. And, of course, the Entente has the Kenya Railroad. which is what they're really using, which is what they're really using to get forward here. Let's see. What's it showing up as 104 seconds? In the world is that? All right, let's end that turn. The campaign is starting, and this is, of course, if you choose to play as the Entente. This is the message you will get. They're going to also take some damage, as you can see, from just the heat. You know, nobody is spared the deadly heat. It's gonna, of course, deal killing blows to all of our units. That includes malaria and all the illnesses that one can catch out here. Until they feel strong enough, the Belgians and the Congo have decided against any intervention inside the nearby German colony as they fear a counter-invasion. They prefer to wait until colonial authorities in Leopoldville provide more troops of the local force publique to mount a sustainable offensive. Interesting. I like also what they've done here. They didn't do this in previous games, but now you cannot see the opponent's cards. In previous games, their hand would be open, so I think this is, like, really a good idea. After weeks of radio traffic, damn it, guys, they found our ship, the Königsberg. And by the way, you can look at this map. That's just so fascinating historically. Look at all of the rivers and all the deltas the Königsberg had to go down to hide over here. That is incredible. Just incredible. So no doubt they're going to go for a naval attack here. The Imperial headquarters believes that native troops, cars, and other rifles are unfit for offensive warfare in enemy territory, and thus disallows for their engagement in German lands. Only well-trained units, it seems. Looks like they're going to give a forced march card here to their Maasai units, and potentially charge into the southwestern portion of our territory. But as long as we have that central railroad there, we're good. Look at that, though. They're cutting the central railroad. We're going to have to get them out of here. As you can see, they are cutting the central railroad already. And that is going to cause victory point damage. But it just goes to show you, that's what you have to do as the Entente player, is try and shut us down so we can't get any supply through. We're going to have to get this guy to do something about it. Val. Here we go, guys. They are attacking us at Ovira, the fort we just took. Now, we can do a tactical retreat, but I don't want to retreat. Let's fight. We're going to ambush the enemy with our native units. Fight, boys. For the Kaiser. Don't surrender. Ooh, it's a nice fight. We did actually manage to win, but not without some severe losses. Essentially, half of our units here. Now, a battle for Chunya, I am going to hold my ground against these tribal troops. I'm not going to use that tactical withdrawal card. And once again, we managed to win over here. Now here, not so sure we can actually beat them. That is a massive attack. Let's use that tactical withdrawal. Again, a lot of these smaller conflicts, which is what you would expect in a war like this. No, we've got to retreat. And it's not even necessarily worth retreating with that unit. Look at this. They're attacking us at Tonga. This is where we set up Bumstark, guys, with all of his units. I think we're going to be okay. Let's ambush them. Why not? They were not expecting that, and they just got shocked, guys. Completely shocked that all of our colonial Feld Company units were waiting for them. Unbelievable. Got a pursuit round. No prisoners. That's a tremendous victory for us. Tremendous. Fortunately, they succeeded in their siege of Tavetta, and this is going to be another area we have to retake, and Moshi as well. Mosuma as well. Bunch of different sieges here that they are winning. And that's going to give them victory points, which is going to, of course, lead them closer to victory, lead us farther away from victory, etc. How you doing, General Kenobi and Fat Cat? Good to see you guys. All right, let's... It is indeed. It is Avalon Digital. This game is not yet out. It will be out in, I think, 2 weeks. Something like that. We do have some reinforcement cards, guys. Specifically, the Volunteers. For these Traeger units, they don't seem, I guess it's not really worth it. Naval Movement. So we know we want to move some of these armies over onto our ships, but I don't think we have any control over these ships. No, we really don't. We have control over our river ships. So what we can do is get some of them to go back to that port, load them up and attack. But truth be told, we're going to be using Val to retake this area. So he's not going to be moving over there this turn. Might take a while before we actually get him over there, as a matter of fact. We're still, of course, blockading the enemy over here on Lake Victoria. And I think that's about it. There's not much we can do with the Königsberg except try to escape with her. And I don't want to try to escape. We shall not surrender. Time for land movement, guys. And I'm mostly concerned about this, of course. So, can we move through is the question. Boom. Okay, so we just purely overran the enemy stack. And what happened there is basically our forces are so damn strong, they just ran away into the bush. They did not want to fight us. So we're just going to retake these areas. And we're going to start heading... I think we have to start heading south. I don't think we have much of a choice. So let's go to engage battle here with these native units. We're going to assist with our own native units if we can. And over here, I think we're causing quite a lot of damage to the Belgians. We might want to keep that going. So try and merge these two together. We can't move north this turn, but maybe next turn. And in the meantime, we can keep chasing these Belgian units with Roth. But you can see that Roth is pretty badly damaged. I think I just want to keep him at Uvira and bring reinforcements to the guy. Let's do that. Kind of hang out here for now, and then we'll decide where we want to go. Again, these Maasai units are still useful, and what we're going to do is a double attack here. Maasai units and native units, and some Indungaranga units. I guess these are sort of additional native units. We're going to try to send these guys north to Entebbe. So we're going to head over here northeast to Entebbe and north to Fort Portal, although I have no doubt that these native units cannot take Fort Portal. They might, however, be able to take Entebbe. All right, we're going to go here. Let's try and push the enemy off us. Reconnaissance mission in Masuma. This is not necessarily going to lead to an overrun stack, but I'm also going to send our Maasai warriors over here, as the Maasai are exceptional defenders of their own territory. I'm going to have them assist in the battle for Masuma. Now, Cole was doing extremely well last turn. So is this guy, Kraut, but unfortunately, the enemy is getting behind us. We need to put a stop to that. And so as you can see, I've closed in with Kraut. I've also closed in with that small cavalry unit we had before. Let's try to add some fighting power to it. We're going to send in that large cavalry unit. And I am going to take von Letov and von Baumstock. And as you can see, Letov really deserves his own army. There's no need to have both of these guys in the same stack. So I'm going to send Letov over here. Let's give him a machine gun. Let's give him a few infantry corps. And, of course, some supplies. We'll just give him the Nakshub. We'll also give him these Tanganese units. And some artillery. I think he's going to do pretty well with that. So we can't move into the region because, again, we have the British troops. We're just going to remain here as a defensive force. One option, though, is to take these native units and have them continue moving, as you can see here. And I believe this way... Nope, still can't move. At the very least, though, I think this is still the right choice because we got this area defended. If they want to get to the railroad, they need to break through one of these units. So I'll take it for now. These are just decoy units. Send them over here. And let's go over here. Can we do anything with our friend Cole? We could go to Nairobi and, of course, take this capital immediately. But I think Magadi is more of a threat at the moment. Right there on Lake Natron. By the way, I just have to say, I was amazed by the amount of lakes in Africa, number one, and the size of them. Like, I've always been fascinated with California's Salton Sea, which is like an inland sea in the United States. These lakes put it to shame. These are like oceans. I'm thinking if you're in the middle of Lake Victoria, you don't see anything around you. You just see water. All right, I think we've done what we can. Again, we can't get on that boat, so I think Zanzibar is not an option for an attack. Just see. So instead, we're going to send our troops over here to assist in the southwest. It's pretty tough, and as you can see, just this really jungly area, it's a pain to move through, man. Almost impossible to move through. Moving in. Actually, just took Obercron. We could go for Katuta or even Kasama, but I'm actually going to see if I can't force them to attack us. We're going to stay here at Obercron, and hopefully the enemy will launch an assault this way. Yeah, it's huge in general, exactly. It's absolutely massive. You can start to understand how places in the Deep Congo, there are many places in the Deep Congo that like aren't properly mapped. They don't necessarily know if explorers have gone there, and you start to understand why. It's just such... It's so hard to get into this continent, to move around on this continent. It's incredible. Guys, here is the Battle of Tavetta, and this is going to be a massive one. We've got that wonderful machine gun support for this one. Let's hope it makes a big difference, because we know with those Rajput rifles, the enemy can hold us back for a long time. Already, we're losing some of our native units. Come on. They're taking damage. The enemy's taking damage, but as you can see here, if we look at our HP... We're just not quite able to break through. I could try one more attack, but that will lead to... Yeah, it's going to go. It will lead to a retreat if we don't break through. They're pretty badly damaged, man. Like, look at all these guys about to retreat. Come on, boys. Come on, Kraut. Okay. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. That could have gone terribly. Thankfully, it didn't. We're just going to remain there. Got a battle at Magadi now. That'll be an easy win under Cole. And really what we need to do is just besiege Magadi. That part will be a little more difficult, I think. There we go. Easy win. So what I am going to do... It's actually not a bad idea. Oh no, we can't go to Kajada. We can only go to Natron. So we could send units back to Natron to make sure the enemy doesn't get past us. I think that's probably a good plan. So we're going to send him back there. Make sure the enemy doesn't try and flank our army, of course. Fat Cat from Sweden says, can't believe that Hearts of Iron 4 will soon feature light tanks with Tiger 2 level armor. Ooh. Yeah, why are they doing that? Good question. I guess just to increase the customization in the game? I don't know. Battle for Mabara, and as you can see, our units here are already not looking great. They don't have many health points against the Uganda National Defense Forces, let's call them. I don't think we can necessarily win, but we're going to try. Our rolls are good so far, but yeah, I don't think they're sufficient. Oh man, we just barely managed to break them. Look at that. That native unit can actually follow them. We are going to follow them into Rukumagiri in an effort to completely destroy this army. And I think we have succeeded, guys. Oh, interesting. So the Maasai are fighting on both sides. Does that mean that the Maasai tribe is not like one unified tribe, but it's like just a cultural group? Is that what it is? I didn't know that. I always thought the Maasai, like, you know, all lived together. They were all unified. Hey, we're learning some stuff about African history here, too. I want to keep him at Musoma. No, just remain. It's like he forced me to move that unit almost. Let's do the assault on Obercron first, trying to take this fortress from the enemy. I think that's going to be near impossible. Yep, not going to happen. Our MRK unit sent in a panic, running away. Now here at Moshi, this is where we get to see our cavalry units in action. And remember, these are mostly German settlers. So these guys are trained military units, but it's really just settlers from the area. They have a vested interest in winning this fight. Good work, boys. Tremendous victory. And we are going to continue onwards to this area in Tavetta. From there, we might be able to do a counterattack into enemy territory. Good work, Falkenstein. A lot of different sieges here. I don't think I've seen... I think of all of the SGS games I've played, this one has the most siege warfare, without a doubt. I think it's just because, you know, everything is kind of a level 1 colony, so you're always going to need to siege it. Look at this. Boom. Look at that, man. We are taking territory left and right. We are just grabbing every city. It's amazing. All right. Not a single siege lost, man. The rolls are on point. RNG Jesus is loving us right now. So here we have to add some points. Let's go ahead, give them some replacements, give them some replacements. Also, if you notice there, when you give them replacements, it also gets rid of that panicked state and give these guys some replacements as well in Uvita. That's our western territory over here. That's right. Good old Uvita, where we are fighting the Belgian menace. What nations can you play as in this game besides Germany and Britain? That's a good question, Davos. So, I believe, like, you just play as the Allies or the Entente in general. So if you play as the Allies, you're not just playing as Britain, but you're playing as Belgium, you're playing as Portugal, all those countries. I don't think there's, like, you can't specify what country you're going to play as, basically. You're given, like, the entire Entente or the entire Axis for this area, which is fine, you know, because it's not a massive scale. It's just in this area. Okay, let's end that turn. See what the Entente does here. How are they going to destroy the German Empire? Weather forecast. Very strong heat as always. I don't think we're going to be escaping that heat. The Holohola Revolt. Wow. And this is for the enemy, guys. So the Holoholos are in our favor. Tribe revolts in North Rhodesia. It must be put down quickly. And that destroys one native British African unit. And also, I think, sets up an ambush. So look at that. It looks like right now, the tribes are fighting in our favor. At least some of them are. But as you can see, they've still cut off our rail line. That is not good. Every turn that they have our rail line cut off, I think they gain 2 or 3 victory points. So we have to do something about that. Oh, we had a crash. Not good. All right, let's jump back in the game. Sorry, boys and girls. I'm pretty sure we could just continue from where we left off. But again, the game is in early access, so it's a developmental build, not the full release build. Okay, continue. Let's hope we don't crash again. There we go. Beautiful. So it's starting right from that same turn, which I like. Come on, Holoholos, help us out. Take the British back to Britain. I couldn't think of anything more original than that. Something that rhymes with Holo. As always, my friends, please remember to hit that the like button. Sorry, I got tripped up by the MS Königsberg attack. Fails. So they actually attempted to sink her once, and we fought them off. Here, the Entente loses a victory point, which is just tremendous. Victory points are the name of the game. It does seem, though, that they are making cross-border attacks here with a bunch of different native auxiliary units. Let's see if our boys can hold them off. Actually, we did hold them off, but we lost the unit. They fought to the last man. That is beautiful. We do have some trenches here, but I think the enemy is going to break through. Incredibly, we are damaging them quite a bit with those trenches, man. They cannot break through the German trench. I love it. Holding back an entire army with some trench works. I don't want to lose Falkenstein. He's our man in the south. Oh my god, Falkenstein is dead. I just said I don't want to lose Falkenstein. So we just lost our southern general. We're going to have to send someone there to replace him. I'm pretty sure in the northeast we had Baumstark and one other guy, right? So we're going to send him. Actually, it's von Bülow. It's our most important general. We're going to send von Bülow down to replace Falkenstein. That is terrible news. Although this is good news. We're completely smashing the enemy Punjabi army. We've won a massive victory. Okay, back to our turn. The German Empire. Long rain, guys. Now we've got the rainy season. So this adds a new level of complexity to the game. It's absolutely awesome. Movement is going to be more difficult. Disease is going to increase. We're going to have increased checks for disease. Just amazing here, man. See how this goes. Random loss of units. Expect random loss of units. People will just simply leave in situations like this. When things get this bad, when you can't eat, when you're in the jungle, it's absolutely possible that you just say screw it and just either disappear into the jungle or leave the army and try to find the nearest civilization. Snidelsitten in Mozambique. The German liner NBL Zitten takes refuge into Mozambique harbor to escape the Royal Navy. For those of you wondering, Mozambique is a Portuguese colony. So the Portuguese are allowing us to use their harbors, which another thing about World War I that I didn't know, because I do know that the Portuguese eventually sided with the Allies, but maybe initially they took a neutral approach to protect their African colonies. There we go. Reinforcements, folks. +1 replacement on auxiliary units. Don't mind if I do. I didn't think it was going to be carriers. I thought it was going to be our native units. And we've got to select a destination region. Now, we are having issues in the south. So I think we should put them over here if we can. Let's get some volunteers. Right there. And our cavalry unit with the medals. I mean, this is a very strong unit in terms of their training, but not very strong in terms of their actual numbers. And we'll send these carriers over here. All right, guys, the HMS Pegasus guns salvaged. The engineers of the Royal Navy feel that with few efforts and means, the guns of the sunken cruiser, Her Majesty's ship Pegasus, may be salvaged and used to create a heavy artillery barrage. Okay. And over here, we gain +2 money and 1 replacement, but we lose a victory point. I don't think we need it right now. I'm going to go ahead and just skip the phase. Don't want to buy any decoy units. All right, guys, naval movement. In terms of naval movement, I think we're pretty much good. What we're trying to do, and I need to turn that on again, is we're trying to retake that tile right there. And also trying to get a general over here to the southwest. Because if we don't, you know, this is an area that will become more and more dangerous over time. Exactly, yeah. The Portuguese, I think actually the Portuguese and the English alliance is the oldest alliance in European history, if I'm not mistaken. So, I don't understand how that would work. But again, I think it's probably because the Portuguese are certainly not as strong militarily as the Germans. So it might just be one of those things like, let us stay here or else, you know. That's what I'm guessing in any case. All right, let's see. Continue forward. That's fine. Actually, let's blockade Karenga. All right. Land movement. And again, my goal is to get one of these generals. I don't care which one it is, but I think it's going to be Letov. To go all the way to the south. So let's do this. See what's the fastest way. I don't think there is any fast way, unfortunately. It's going to take us a while to get over there. And again, it's fine if just the general is going. I don't mind if the units don't follow. We just need somebody that's going to be able to lead these units, of course. And then, you know, it won't be so difficult. But, of course, just getting through the jungle here is a monumental task. It really is. I think we should start attacking the Belgians here. Let's go south with Rot. As you can see, that immediately is going to engage in battle, and hopefully we can break through to Lakuga next turn. But what I really want to do, I'm actually going to split some units out of this army just to take back those areas. This is one way that we can take back these areas without having to move that general. So we'll do that, and then we're going to take the general and actually put him to some good use, send him down south to attack the enemy over here. And look at this. We'll be able to use this guy to assist in defending from these southwestern attacks. So I'm actually going to use him to head this way. Ooh, you know what? I should have waited for the rest of the troops. We'll keep him here next turn, and we're just going to send troops his way. In the meantime, we've got some decoy units over here, and I think with the addition of some additional native troops, we might just be able to push the enemy back and keep them on that side of the border at least. I don't know how much bringing that unit along is going to help, but I figure it must do something. By the way, can anybody explain to me what's the HEIA Safari? What does that mean? What is HEIA Safari? I really want to know. And over here, we're not allowed to attack an enemy territory. With this force, however, we can certainly attack an enemy territory. Ooh, so there are limits. Look at that. There are limits. What about our native troops? Nope. What about these native troops? No, not him. Nope. So that's like the political aspect of this is you can't move into every city, you know. You need to kind of it's almost kind of like a Cold War in that we can have fights along the border, but as soon as one of our sides moves along, you know, over into enemy territory, it's questionable as to whether or not we can do it. That's interesting. We're going to send the native units over here to attack, and I am going to continue attacking the Belgians. As far as I know, there is no restriction against attacking the Belgians. Even if there were, the French would probably be like, please attack them, please. We hate the Belgians. Like, trust me, nobody's going to mind. Nobody's going to mind at all. I'm sorry to my wonderful Belgian subs. It's just the truth. You're just, you know, Belgium is who everybody in Europe essentially bullies. That's just what happens. We'll keep them back. No real point in moving this unit. However, I'm going to take this machine gun, and hopefully we can get this machine gun over there to that southwestern area to assist in keeping the enemy off us. And in fact, look at that. It's not just one MG. This is an entire force. We've got some German Imperial naval units. Again, settlers. We've got some Feldkompanies. We've even got the Abteilung Dar es Salaam, a reserve company of white settlers and other citizens. Interesting. Seems that is a German war song, Agrippa. Ah, okay. Very cool. Let's see. Every man counts. I hate that I can't attack Goma this turn. And I could, of course, break off some units and attack Goma with those units, but I really think it's best if we have a general with us. Let's not get too greedy. So actually, with this force, we can attack, and this would be cutting off the enemy railway. As you guys can see there, I think that's extremely important. Destroying the enemy railway and just cutting off their supplies is of utmost importance here. In fact, I'm even going to take some units from here and try and send them north. We might have to wait till next turn, but what I want to do is not necessarily split this army, but just take a couple of the better units here and move them into Kohl's army over here. Nice. Beautiful. As you can see, much healthier bar there. We could actually, next turn at least, we might be able to move into enemy territory. Oh, yeah, the Belgians did some sick stuff in Africa. But you know what? Every European power, I think, was pretty awful in Africa, let's be honest. All right, I think we should end the turn. Let's go to the Battle of Matito. Hopefully this is an easy win, but again, looks can be deceiving because despite us having, 4 different unit cards, that those tiles on the left-hand side of this unit suggest it's a massive group. I think here we are beaten for sure. Yep, the Entente held. Good old Kar 98 rifles, that's what they're using there. Our Kar 98s. Open fire, enemy. Here we go. Should be able to overrun this auxiliary unit with Rot. And this is, of course, the Belgian enemy, and we absolutely overran them. And yeah, as you mentioned, the way the native people were treated by the Belgians, there's no shocker there that they ran away pretty quickly. They didn't put up much of a fight. Here we go, against additional auxiliary units. And they quickly retreated. All right, boys. Not too shabby. We've also got 1 replacement. We're going to send this to our most damaged unit, and I think it's got to be this guy. We actually have a few more down here. Nope, it's this guy right here. The Imperial Rifle Unit. How you doing, David Labaril? HEIA Savari, indeed. We're still trying to find out what that means. So what is it? Like, go do a safari? Is that what HEIA Safari stands for? First of all, what language is it in any case? I'm really curious. But I know this HEIA Safari thing is, it's something mentioned by people that like this time period quite a lot. I've noticed that. All right, we're going to end the turn. Over to the Allies. Poor travel conditions all over East Africa. Again, it's the long rainy season, the monsoon season. But if it's not heavy rain, it's, horrific heat, brutal heat. So one way or another, we're suffering out here. British armed schemers, they're still trying to destroy the Königsberg. I mean, in time, they're gonna be able to destroy her. And they have pretty good income gain, as you can see. They're 13. They're making good money. So I'm guessing that as the British player, and this is not the Grand Campaign, guys. There are 5 campaigns, including the Grand Campaign, Year of the Mosquito, I think it's Year of the Crocodile, etc., etc. 1914 to 1918. We are playing the Year of the Mosquito, the first part of the war in Africa, but also the beginning of World War One. And essentially, the idea here is that I'm pretty sure, as the years progress, the Brits get, and the Allies in general, the Entente in general, gets more and more and more reinforcements, and eventually, they have far more men than we do. Over here at Tavetta, they completely overran us, and those Guaylo rifles that I thought we destroyed came back to haunt us. Unbelievable, man. At least we're doing pretty well in the southwest, but they are doing okay. We're managing to hold them off. Now, our trenches held them off once. Let's see if we can do it twice. Just a really weak trench there with some machine guns in it, and we are managing to destroy that unit. We actually routed the enemy side. They essentially tried to charge a machine gun nest and failed miserably. All right, not too bad. Again, as the German player, we can rest assured that that was not that bad at all. We are, however, still getting hit with the torrential downpours. That's going to affect just the amount of units we have. And, of course, the morale of said units. We're taking hits, -1, -1, -1, all over the damn place. And this is just, sort of the price you pay for fighting in a damn jungle. There we go. The tsetse fly. So this fly, I believe it puts you asleep. I think it can even kill you, but I know that if this bites you, you get sleeping sickness. So you kind of like fall asleep after getting bitten. Let's put that there. And maybe you fall asleep forever. I don't know. But we're going to target an enemy unit with it. Biological warfare, I think, is what's going on here. And as for supply, we've got some unsupplied units, as you can see, guys. They mentioned that units were going to be disappearing randomly. And that's certainly the case. And look at that. The enemy, of course, managing to get into Kalino. It makes things difficult for us. It cuts off our supply. I'm not seeing any enemy ships here, but what we will do is we will start a blockade. We should have done this before. We blockaded other areas. We just haven't blockaded this area. Let's go ahead, start that blockade. This area is already blockaded. And I believe we can go ahead and end the turn. Ah, Italiano. It's a quote from a German song. Ah, interesting. This seems a good game. It's very fun. And again, if anybody is, or if you're not aware of the SGS catalog, I would definitely take a look at it. It's got some good stuff. And a lot of, you know, conflicts that other companies simply would not cover. It's just that simple. All right, boys. Land movement. I don't like that our general here is trapped. I don't like it at all. We're going to head to Tavetta, engage in battle. Not allowed to move in this region, but I am going to try and get Voletov over to one of these armies. Let's get him to command these forces, hopefully. I think we'll move next turn. I really wanted to get to Nulangdeberg, though. All right, let's do this. This should be safe. No. What if we cut through there? Nope. What if we cut through west? Nope. We're going to go to Obercron anyway. But we need to have some units who can go to Kalino and take it back. And unfortunately, I don't think anybody's going to be able to get there in time. So that really, really works out in favor of the enemy. Basically shutting down our supplies for a month. You can imagine the kind of damage that would do in a situation like this. Now, what if we get on the tracks? Maybe we'll be able to get over there this way. Nope. Nope, we're just going to have to sort of weasel our way back. In the meantime, though, we will attack the Belgians over here at Goma. This is an area I really want to take, and I'm even going to have some Maasai warriors assist us. If they can't, then you know what? They can at least keep this enemy busy. So we're going to send the Maasai warriors there, and we are going to continue southwards. I mean, I think this guy right now is our hero, right? Roth. He's won every single victory against the Belgians, destroyed numerous troops. If he can take La Couga and Albertville specifically, this guy is a German hero. It's that simple. I also want to take back that. Yeah, we're just going to have to wait until next turn. What a shame. We can at least conquer that region. Hey, Lucas. How you doing, buddy? Thank you for stopping in, guys. I really want to go for Nairobi here, but again, this unit cannot attack across the border. At least not until later in the campaign. We can really just kind of keep a close eye on the enemy. The Belgians, they're completely off limits. Or completely on limits, I should say. The opposite. We can attack them whenever we feel like it. Alright. If this is the year of the Mosquito, they are the Mosquito. Here we go, guys. We should be able to overrun the Gwailor troops with Kraut. If not, we are going to remain behind enemy lines. Looks like, yep, they fell back pretty quickly. And I'm even going to send some units to Moshi, just to make sure we don't get cut off next turn. Over here at Rukumagiri, we didn't even need to fight the Ugandan garrison, simply dropped their weapons and left. Rutshuru. Wittgens is attacking, but they have a pretty strong unit here. The Force Publique. It's just a militia force, but there are a lot of them. We won. Wonderfully done there. Absolutely wonderfully done. We're trying to break through Fort La Couga, guys, with Roth. This is, of course, our hero, Roth. We're facing actually some Sudanese rifles. Look at that. Unbelievable. Did manage to rout them, and I think had those not been native units, that would have been a very difficult fort to take. Always make sure to hit that like button, folks. Please do subscribe if you haven't already. If you want to help us out, you can always hit that Stream Elements link I have below and donate. It's the advertising message for today. Replacements seems good over here in Lukuga. All right, I think we're going to turn it over to the enemy. The map's looking decent. Again, besides that pathetic capture at Calino. Is Italy an ally? I don't believe so. Again, my knowledge of World War I is minuscule in comparison with my knowledge of World War II. I'm pretty sure in World War I, Italy was initially on the side of the the Central Powers and then switched to the Entente, or vice versa. Yeah, Italy kind of fought for both sides during that war, if I'm not mistaken. If somebody wants to correct me on that, please do. All right, let's see. Ending the turn. Yeah, that weather is absolutely still doing its job. You're always hoping that the weather is going to affect the enemy more than it's going to affect us, but it's going to affect us both equally. We're both suffering from this unbelievable heat, the constant disease. Well, I mean, not related to, well, it's related to the weather. The disease, because it's constantly humid, it's very, very hot. It's a perfect place for diseases to breed. And of course, consequently, we lose quite a bit of men due to attrition in this campaign. Fight them. Why would they attack here? Good work, boys. We shot them down. That was the African version of Gallipoli. Here we go. Another victory here. And again, a lot of the units that they're attacking us with just simply are not up to the fight. You can see these guys are nearly about to run. The Rajput rifles. They keep coming back for more. But I think they can actually potentially break through. Hold them off, boys. Don't let them overrun this area. And we managed to pursue them on top of fighting, or on top of pushing them back. There's some units there, like the North Lancashire, that look fresh, though. That's got me worried. They're definitely getting additional units. Man, we are breaking through all over the place here as the Central Powers. Don't know how much longer that's going to continue for, though. Schnee! I can't get over that name, I'm sorry. Yeah, we've got nothing we're going to play. My main focus is taking back that damn railroad. And that's one thing that I think is so cool about this campaign. Again, the whole idea as the German player is to damage the enemy as much as possible. There's no way you're going to stop the British from eventually conquering this area. All we can do is pretty much take their forces away from the fight in Europe and force them to send entire armies over here. And that helps our men out in Europe. It makes sense to most people. Let's see here. The Allies describe the wartime military alliance of Germany, Austria-Hungary, Bulgaria, and the Ottoman Empire as the Central Powers. You're absolutely right. I keep saying Axis. You're absolutely right. Oh, they didn't fight for the Central Powers. A deal with the Central Powers, then sided with the Entente. That makes sense. That's a good question, Davos. Did the Ottomans ever try to send any troops to sub-Saharan Africa? I would guess not. I would guess not. The Ottomans were not fans of leaving that area. I think the Turks really wanted to remain in their territory. I don't even think the Turks necessarily wanted to take territory as much as they wanted to hold on to what they already had. Yeah, we're good at naval movement. We've already got those blockades set up. Not going to mess with that. But land movement, now we're talking. Let's get in there immediately. The railroad is open. Everybody can get their supplies as they need to. But we'll just put this unit here just to keep an eye on them. Now, the next attack that we do over here with Rot, we're going to have to cross into Albertville. And this is a major city. Well, at least for this area, it's kind of just a missionary outpost. But for this area, it's a very, very major target. The problem is we have to cross the Lakuga River to be able to get there. And I think that's going to probably cost us quite a few points. So I'm kind of tempted to, like, wait here this turn and just, you know, send some units over next turn. But I think it's going to take just way too long, as you can see. So, you know what? Rot has done incredibly so far. Let's have him attack. No doubt about it, it's risky, but let's try it. See if our Maasai warriors can continue into Bukuringi. Goma is ours. Now we could go into Lubero, and we are taking additional Belgian territory there. The real goal is Fort Portal, and I'm just hoping we don't get cut off here. It looks like, no, we can't move into that region, and I'm not sure where they determine that. I think here's how it works. You can move into regions one tile across in the border. So basically, you're fighting on the border, but you can't move past that. So you can't move deeper into the territory, which makes sense. Now, the enemy has no such rules. They can cut through our lines here and get all the way to the railroad if they want. Just not fair, but it is what it is. War is not fair. There we go. There we go. We could attack Fort Hill here with this unit. We are going to attack Fort Hill. And with this unit, I'm going to go over here. We've got two major battles about to happen. They might not go the way we're expecting. Ah, interesting. Odinat says, nope, our hands were full. Yeah, you said soldiers to Romania. Nice. Well, I mean, I think that the reason, right, is because the Ottomans didn't have African holdings. I mean, they didn't have any African colonies, right? So, nothing to defend. There's really nothing to defend there. I know that a lot of Eastern African countries have Islamic influence, but not necessarily Ottoman influence. I don't think so, anyway. Let's see. Again, we can't move into that region, but the trade-off is they can't move into this region either. Get some battles going. The Battle of Rukumagiri. And it looks like it's going to be an Entente victory. We'll also go to Albertville. This is the one we really want to win, guys. This would be a massive victory. Come on, boys. Oh. Rot, you can do it, man. You've been a hero so far. But I think these guys are very tired. Yeah, unfortunately, guys, should have known better. And that's why I mentioned, you know, crossing that river, maybe it's best if we kind of hold off. It's just very dangerous. We're going to have to hold Rot back for a while now and just keep him safe. All right, Fort Hill, here we go. Using Shni and Letov, and we have taken Fort Hill. I wonder if we can break through at Karonga as well. We're facing the King's Rifles Division. Yeah, the King's African Rifles. These guys are very well trained. Managed to get a victory, but they are quite well trained. And we will definitely be attacking the fortress here. Lubero, this is the Belgian fortress. And I believe that is going to be a victory. Let's see if we can actually capture Fort Hill. An easy siege. As you can see, we've got both Shni and von Letov here. We can actually split those into two separate armies. Oh, not good. So the siege at Karonga failed. This is not a situation where you want a siege to fail at all. Because each turn, of course, behind these lines, we're taking that nasty, nasty attrition damage. Ah, yeah, currently fighting a Cold War. Northern Africa, right? Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Just certainly not Eastern Africa. All right, I think we're going to go ahead and end that turn. Let's see what the Entente does here. I'm so sad that Roach did not succeed in that attack. He's been doing so damn well, that guy. Chilembwe Uprising. John Chilembwe leads a rebellion in Nyasaland against the British planters and rulers. We've had a lot of these uprisings targeting the British, but we haven't had many uprisings against us. So either the Germans are really good at controlling Africa, or they were quite kind to the settlers and the locals in Africa. Something to look into, because the British are getting uprisings left and right. And look at that, we managed to cut off supply to that Belgian unit, despite having a lot of men. No supply means no men. Wonderful. Right, they are counterattacking in 2 different locations. Not so worried about that one, but I'm worried about, and you guys are about to see why. Look at that. I believe that's our other General Roth. It is. They're going to try to push him back. He needs to know when to retreat. Fall back, Roth. I don't want this guy to get killed like Fulkinson. So we're going to retreat and have him fight another day. In fact, I'm even going to retreat him across Lake Victoria. And just try and remain as careful as possible. Wait a minute. Allow South Africa... South Africa is going to intervene in the war. No, they're going to be helping the Brits, it looks like. That's not good. The Brits are about to get some additional units. The Entente, I should say, is about to get some additional units. Because really, it's not just the British, right? It's the Belgians, the British, the French, all of them. Yeah, nothing to play this turn. Let's reorganize this one and this one. And this will simply move the units to full strength units. Now, where's the enemy's making, I think it's 16 or 14. We're making $6 per turn. You can see we just don't have the income that the British have. That's obviously going to be an issue a little bit later. Now, there's also unit purchases here. I'm going to try to buy some native units, and let's set them up over here in the south. This is where we've been having some trouble. Again, some unsupplied units, but that's to be expected. South Africa, oh no, yes. Oh, that Let Vorbeck told Hitler to go F himself when he offered him a job at the Nazi government. Nicely done for Let Vorbeck, I should say. I almost said Vet Lorbeck. A little bit of dyslexia going on there. Let's not do the naval movement. We've done that. Let's move right to the land movement, and specifically to Fort Portal. Looks like we're not going to get there this turn. Oh, not allowed. Okay, that makes sense. And I think what I would do is, if I could, I would attack here, but I'm guessing we can't. We'll hold there. Try to conquer the other English regions in the area here. Maybe even get to Luangwa, and maybe over here to the Kota Kota e Lilongwe area. If we can actually grab this, we would be bordering the Portuguese. We don't have to worry about them joining any sort of fight. I think that's probably where this is leading. But again, we're only at turn 6 of 47. And by the way, isn't that beautiful that if you just mouse over the turns, you get a little history of everything that's occurred in your game? I just think that's really awesome. What I'm going to do is save here. I want to show those of you... Agrippa. I want to show those of you that have not yet seen the different campaigns you can play here with HEIA Safari. So let's just go to main menu. So as you can see, you got the Ost Africa campaign. It's a 53-turn campaign. You could, of course, play for either side, and this is just the grand campaign. Over here, you've got a lot of other ones, though. Year of the Mosquito. This is the one we were just playing. We've got Year of the Elephant. One is 47 turns. One is 35 turns. These all correspond to different years in Africa. And, of course, there are going to be different challenges for each of the years. I think over here in 1917, we actually get to play as Portugal versus the Germans. So I can't wait for that. Nonetheless, guys, I hope you guys have enjoyed this stream. Hey, Robert, how you doing, buddy? Is this an HEIA game? So it's funny you mentioned that. Philippe Thibault, the creator of the game, did create the Agiad games. Indeed, he did. This is not an Agiad game, it's an SGS game. But if you liked Agiad games, I would call this, I would say this is simpler, easier to learn than Agiads, but still has that Agiads feel for sure. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for stopping by these streams. It really means so much, guys, when you guys hit that like button and when you guys engage in the chat. It really helps me out. If you could do me another favor, and that is, once this video uploads, please leave a comment. In fact, if you're like nervous and you don't like leaving comments, I'll give you something to leave a comment on. Just tell me who your favorite general was from World War I. That's it. In the comments down below, not in these comments, not in the chat, although I do appreciate it. In the comments down below, once the video uploads, just let me know what your favorite World War I general is, or any facts that you might know about the Ostafrika campaign in World War I. Thank you so much, guys. I really do appreciate it, and I hope you guys have an awesome, awesome day. We will be back tomorrow with some additional gameplay. Maybe we'll do a little bit more here in HEIA Safari. Again, if you want that to happen, you know what to do. Like, comment, and subscribe. Take care, folks. Have an awesome one.